It is with excitement that I welcome you to another episode of Media Talks series. I'm so excited about this episode because we're going to be having some interesting conversation. On Media Talks with me, Adebisi Adetunji, the goal is to inspire, motivate, and challenge media professionals, whether in the broadcast or the digital space, to do so much more with their career, to look at the opportunities available within their space, within their network. The media professional has evolved over time, and there's so much going on, and it's just not okay to limit yourself as a practitioner, as a professional. It's important to leverage on all that is available as the trends evolve. So I like to say I challenge colleagues in the industry to evolve, modify, and grow. And so I am going to be welcoming my guest on today's show. His name is Oladayo Ogunbowale. He's a media and communications professional. He's a brother and a friend. His experience spans across media and communication project design, incubation, developing media campaigns for social causes, and policy development for government organizations and agencies. He has completed a series of high-level training on fact-checking, ICFG African Check, African Resilience Network, and U.S. Consulate General, Lagos, respectively. In 2022, he was certified as an international trainer by the United States Institute of Peace after completing the mandatory training of trainers session in Kigali, Rwanda. And until January 2020, he led the business development unit. That is, he was a program producer and news analyst at Metropolitan Broadcasting Services. I have known Oladayo Ogunbowale to be very actively, outspoken about governance. He is one voice that you will hear across radio and TV in Oyo State. Oladayo Ogunbowale is currently the Special Assistant on Communication to the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Nigeria. And he has been actively in this role since 2021 up until now. I so welcome you, Oladayo.
Wow, such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here. It's interesting to see that as a media professional, we don't all just be voices on, radio or TV or in the digital space. We get to be a voice even in governance. So tell me, how did you, before I come back to how you started in the media, how did you end up in government circle as a special assistant on communication matters? Is that affecting your professionalism, your ethics? Is that in any way affecting you? Because these are the people you always speak about and seem to challenge them. So tell us about that.
Well, thank you very much. How I got here is pretty simple. I'm clergy. I think I need to add that. So and drop it as a caveat ahead before I start talking, so that when I start referring to scriptures, I'll try to limit it. Okay.
A pastor, a clergy who is a media practitioner, who is important. A governor. Okay.
So
let's hear it.
Thank you very much. So my Bible tells me that if a man is diligent at what he's doing, I'm trying to paraphrase now, you will stand before kings and not before mere men. I was just diligent at my duty post. That was just it. I was just diligent at what I do. I was never, and I'm still not, a card-carrying member of any political party. I'm saying this with all sense of modesty. So it's not because I joined a political party or I joined politics in quotes, or I followed a godfather. So I did not follow any godfather. I do not have any godfather. I do not have any political figure in quotes that brought me into politics. No, I was just good at what I do. And the king requested to see me the same way he requested to see Joseph, the same way he requested to see Daniel. So I was just good at what I do.
So the so
With
the governor just sent for you.
that is actually what happened. I was at my duty post at the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, 2020 during COVID, and after finishing my session, I produce in quotes the breakfast session, which starts with newspaper review and all that. I produce actually and co-present that segment. It's the flagship program for that particular radio station, only on the 98.5 FM. So as we're rounding up, I had an idea that the governor, who actually at that period caught COVID, and he was
Yes.
self-isolating at home at that period. So he needed to reach out to people and talk to people. I was aware that it was going to be, featuring on the radio. How it was going to happen, I had no idea. And of course, where I work, there's some level of bureaucracy. There is a government
Yes,
outfit,
I
even though
know,
it's a
right?
media outfit, So I
I
was not even
know.
in the top 10 of people that were going to be, handling that interview that day. However, I mean, as fate would have it, and I was graced, by God. The governor decided to, make his feature earlier. I think we were planning 9 or thereabouts. But while I was in the studio around 7:30, we finished my session around 7:30. Someone just came into the studio and said, the governor is calling in now. He's calling in now. Who's around? I said, and people started talking now. Oh, he's also a person, a director as at that time that was supposed to handle it, and the person was not yet around. And the chairman just walked in. I mean, chairman of the Broadcasting Corporation, who is currently the Honorable Commissioner for Information right now.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Yes, he was my chairman then, Prince Dotson Yelade. He just walked into the studio and said, Dayo, oh yeah, you are in charge, take over. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but then, I mean, it's my profession. I'm good at what I did. So I just switched, and the phone was blinking already. And Pam picked the call. It was Mr. Governor, just like that.
Wow.
And now the
Wow.
interaction was supposed to be around 10 minutes. We ended up spending nearly an hour chatting,
Oh, wow.
discussing. He enjoyed it.
All the
you know,
questions that you had pent up,
I
that day you
mean,
decided to
the
ask
interaction
him.
was awesome. He probably had a false notion about government station that they are bootlickers. I did not lick his boots one bit. I was professional in all my questions, direct, and we had a great time. That night, he requested to see me. Of course, the rest is history. I got appointed, and I've been working with him since then. And it's, yeah, you asked me if it's against my ethics. No, actually, I knew what I signed up for. That was a fact. And again, I told you I'm a pastor. So I had an idea this was going to happen. How it was going to happen, I didn't know.
Oh,
But
really? You had an idea, you had an
I had a
inclination that you
I
would
had
like
spiritual intelligence. As a matter of fact, I shared it with some media colleagues, people you may know, Shewa Akiola, you can bear witness of this thing I'm saying. I
Yes,
shared it with
yes.
some of them that see something like this is going to happen. I was not yet appointed. That event had not happened as at that time, But I shared it, just so that at least you have evidence, So when it happened, it was one of those that you mentioned it. I said, well, I didn't know it was going to happen then, but it happened. So I'm saying this so that just to clarify that I had an idea that was going to happen, and it was just left for me to be prepared. And I think I did the necessary things to ensure that on getting there, I mean, I had an idea what I was coming into, even though, come on, the political space is another thing entirely.
It's
Yes,
tough.
there have
We're
been,
going to have we're
clash
going to
of
have more.
thoughts, clash of opinions. Yes, yes. I mean, there have been instances where I ask myself, what am I doing here? Really? But then of course, Daniel didn't leave where he was. I mean, he made his impact, he stood his ground. So I brought my professionalism to bear, and in all I do that I still do really in office, I ensure that professionalism comes first. I mean, people might have their personal opinion about certain issues, about how certain things should be done, but I always come forward and say, see, this is how it is meant to be done. Let's walk by the books. Let's be professional here. And in all fairness, based on feedback, let me not praise myself. What people have always said is that when I do my job, I'm always serious with it and I make sure I deliver. Okay, and I think this is permit me like a suggestion now, to other colleagues who might be out there who probably desire this office to and desire, to also go higher. You mentioned one basic thing earlier: personal development. My
Yes,
major
yes,
competition is myself. Yesterday, I'm always trying to be better than I was yesterday, and that's why you see me attending this training, attending that training. Even in office, as I say, communications, I'm actually still undergoing training. I told someone I'm actually doing
yeah,
a degree. He said, yes. I said, right now, I'm doing a degree. Another one. So
yeah,
someone, the person was like, really? How do you? I said, yeah. I'm like, why should I not be better than I was yesterday? I'm my own competition.
yes.
So I'm
And
always like,
stand
I
out.
can't be where I was last month and still be claiming that I'm doing better. No, 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 no. I'm only better because I'm better than where I was. So it's my own suggestion, because if we're going to go by the playbook, you just have to be better. You just have to get better. When you get to a point, be required. The king has to see me.
Yeah,
Okay, so if
and you were
you work
ready.
on yourself,
You were
you will
ready
get to a point the king will request to see you. Let me just stop there.
to see you. All right. So we're still going to have more, further conversations about this. But what I just want to quickly, bring out of this conversation was you were at your duty post, and you had maintained a standard, a standard that was, continuous. You maintained a standard in the profession, in your programming. I when I listen to you, when you talk about governance, which you are very, very passionate about, I see someone that follow the news, is on top of whatever is happening globally, nationally, locally, and you have a grasp of correct information and knowledge about politics, policymakers, governance, what should be, and you were very passionate. And this, you brought into your job, such that the day came when, by divine orchestration, the people that were higher than you, they were supposed to be on duty, were not on duty that day. Somehow it was that minute that the governor wanted to speak on the state, on the government state station, to speak to the people of Oyo State, and you were there, and he didn't meet you as somebody that is empty, forgive the word, empty, somebody that is not ill equipped to handle such a high profile interview session. I really, really love that. And I will say that it is important for every one of us to keep developing ourselves, like you said, to give our programs, the best shot, to be excellent at what we do, and to keep developing ourselves, because hey, you never know where the opportunities, will just jump at you. And the opportunity will always come in line with what you are prepared for. All right. So, and I see that the opportunity came to you in the area of your passion. All right, your opportunity. So we'll come back to talk about how we, at media professionals, can work as influencers in governance. But let's take it back a little bit. Have you always been interested in working in the media space? What this inspired you to become a voice on radio or television? What inspired you to want to become a media professional?
Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. I've seen a lot of people ask me. My first degree was actually in agriculture in Obafemi Awolowo University. Years
Ah,
later, I
a
went to do
farmer,
other
a
courses and
farmer,
degrees. Okay, so
a farmer.
I actually studied soil science and land resources management, Faculty of Agriculture, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Okay, that's my first degree. However, I must say this. Right from my primary school, I've been a debater, and a very good one. I could debate on both sides of
Oh,
the topic. I could debate for and against, and I would not miss
and you
anything.
will win.
I mean, I'm telling you, I have laurels to prove that. Okay, so from my primary school, I was a very good debater, chief debater throughout. Secondary school, I became chief debater at SS2. I still have seniors in SS3, remember?
Oh,
I became chief debater in Loyola College. But I attended
oh,
Loyola College. I became chief debater in SS2. Uh, of course, I became the senior prefect, the senior boy. Of course, it's a boys only school anyway. So senior prefect in SS3, chief debater till I left. Of course, I won laurels at state and even federal levels debating. Guess what? I was in science class.
you are not alone. I was in science class so before I ended up in the media.
Interesting. Thank God. Great. I'm happy to know that. So I was in science class and debating. Okay, chief debater. I mean, so I went to do something in Ibadan Northeast local government, and I think, in the commissioner for the super for education. I was in the person's office, and I saw my picture. And I told the person, I said, "That's me, Loyola College." So yeah. He said, eh? He said, "Yes." I said, "I
Wow.
won the debate." He said, "How?" I said, "Really?" I said, "Yes." I said,
So
"People
you've been
happy, you people
talking.
keep records." He was shocked. He said, "Really?" Yeah. I said, and I told him again, just as I told you, I said, I was a science student then. He said, "Really?" He said, so, I mean, it had been inborn. Talking, getting involved in current affairs had been awesome. So, but then sometime in 2000, I think, the only private TV station in Ibadan then was Galaxy TV. I was a young boy, 2000. So they
Yeah.
had this program on current affairs. So I used to attend. I would leave Iworo, sometimes trek for a while, take transport. I would go to Galaxy, attend, and it got to a point they said, okay, this boy that's always coming to, okay, you should come and participate. They knew they made a mistake. I won all their prizes.
Oh
If I
my.
got to a point, they had to edit out some parts that, guy, you can't just be getting everything. You are making it look like these dumb people that are setting the question. I said, because I've been listening, I've been following all your questions. I know your answer.
You have been prepping
I
yourself.
remember. I mean, I remember Ego Steve Ojo, who was in charge of the station then, had to come into this way and like, hello, who is that boy? They've been talking about one boy that just came and won all our prizes. I mean, they had this. So they now, do you know what? Within 2 months of featuring on the program, they made me associate producer. Small boy
Oh
without
my.
degree
My.
that I should be
How old were
working
you
on their
then?
research. I'm serious. I think 17 or 18. I'm serious.
Wow.
So I was seeking admission then. I was writing down. Funny enough, I was trying to study medicine.
In the wrong profession.
And Jam kept jamming me that, oh boy, you are going the wrong way. So I
You're
was
not
seeking
going
admission.
anywhere.
I was seeking admission. I didn't get admission and all that. So I was just at home. But then anything, newspaper, current affairs, I was on top of my game, and all. So I became associate producer. In fact, we finished one recording one day, and I think 2 weeks later they showed it. I was telling my folks at home, I said, see, they will show my name in the montage at the end. Say, you.
Oh.
And then after they said, producer, associate producer, Oladayo Ogunbowale, I said, you. How did you get that? I said, I'm the associate producer. He said, you like, okay. I said, see my name now. They were like, no, that's not possible, and all that. But then, that continued for like, I think about 8 months. And then I got
Yeah.
admission. I had to go to AAU. So everything stopped. I mean, I could not be coming from Ibadan to come and be doing recording.
To be
But whenever
fair.
I was around, I think every 3 or 4 months and all that. And then the station had their issues around that time. So I just faced my education and, I started pastoring from campus. So that alone again took my. But then I continued ensuring that, in fact, while OU, I think I should have this. We had one particular strike. OU was renowned for shutting down. And the school was shut down for like about 9 months. I mean, for you to know that the media team was inside me, I went to a private radio station, Crown FM, which was in Ife. I went there and I offered my service and I started presenting a program. They hardly do
You
that.
volunteered.
Now somebody just come out of the blues. But when they listened to me and saw what I said, no, guy, oh yeah, enter studio, start doing program. So I mean, it was just there. I mean, and they could, and I told them stories at Galaxy. Say, if you can feature on Galaxy and you are ready for all that. So even when I graduated and I moved back to Ibadan, okay, 2015, yes, December 2015. And I was like, okay, so what do we do now and all that? I just got married then, we had a baby and all that. So 2016, I was just following the, early. I'm always fascinated by the breakfast belts. on any media outfit,
Where they
TV,
talk
radio,
about
the
current
breakdown.
affairs, what's happening in the
Exactly. That's
politics,
my
all.
beat. That's my beat. Anytime, any day. So I was sampling the radio stations that were around. I think we had less than 5 private radio stations then. The Premier FM, government owned, and I think Splash was the main private. But then I think IBR just got licensed 2015, so they were like the new guys on the block then. And it was not far from my house. I was staying in the War Road. Abia was in General Gas, almost trekking distance. I didn't care. So I was following the way they were running their newspaper review. I discovered in Ibadan then, Yoruba newspaper review was more popular because, the comedic style, they will laugh, they will make it interesting,
Comedy,
so
yeah.
the commentary was awesome. And they always make it funny. But I'm like, we are losing the sense of news out
Of
of
the
want to
seriousness of it,
making, the intent to make
just
fun, and
making
make
it
it
a
interesting.
sense of humor.
You understand? So, but then I began to ask myself, is it that people didn't discover this thing? I remember on Splash FM, even Edmond would sometimes, he was the one doing his super review on his belt. He would just talk briefly about it and then go to his main topic for the day. I said, people are missing something here. So, I was like, really? A recap of everything that has happened in the whole the whole 24 hours.
The whole
We
week.
just gloss over it, and this one will play over it and be joking with themselves, male and female, inside the Yoruba studio. I said, no. This is a gold mine. So it will surprise you. I actually sold my idea to at least 3 radio stations. Some of them didn't buy it. Even IBR that eventually co-opted me, it was not because they bought my idea. It was because I came with someone that they respected. I won't mention the person is a mentor. Just okay. You want him, all these boys who just want to have space to talk and all that. Okay. The first day they gave me the opportunity to sit in the studio as an analyst, the chairman called and said, I want that guy every day. This is the person we have been looking for.
Wow.
So I started off as a news analyst.
Excellent.
A news analyst, just analyzing news. And to the glory of God, I can boast. Give me my flowers. Really, I'll take it. I initiated professional newspaper review analysis in Oyo State. I started it.
Yeah. So
what we had before was just somebody sitting in the newsroom reading the headlines. I started analysis.
Yeah.
And it started from IBR, Impact Business Review. Yes.
Amazing.
So analyzing, not and then bringing facts and data from previous experiences to drive home the points, not just the headlines. I would have read, I wake up like 4:30 a.m., read the news, check details, facts, so that by the time I'm entering studio, I'm dropping facts, dropping
you are
data,
speaking
dropping
like
the constitution.
Someone that knows.
So anybody who does, if you manage to break into that station at that time, you will be stuck. You will want to listen that, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Yes, I have been saying this about this, so the listenership for IBR shot up within, and everybody enjoyed it. So from news analyst, I became associate producer, I became producer, I started having my own program, and then they got TV license. They still have a TV license, they still have a TV station. So started doing also on TV. That was when people started seeing my face. So it is this guy.
This is the Oladayo.
And then Bishop started inviting me to and then Bishop started inviting me to come analyze on TV and all that. And of course, the rest is history. Where we are today by the grace of God.
So amazing and excellent. So what I'm hearing also is you found your niche, which is current affairs, news analysis,
yes.
Following the trend. And then also you didn't just find your niche, you put in the work. Yeah, you wake up 4 a.m. to read the news, to research, to know the constitution. You gave it your all, so that when you are speaking on radio or TV, when you're doing an analysis of the news or the trends, you are speaking like an authority. You are speaking like an expert, like somebody that knows what he's saying. And that's something I want whoever you that is watching us at this time, you have to find your niche as a media professional, and not just your niche and be a mediocre in your niche. You need to put in the work. You need to learn that particular aspect that you are good at. Some people will be good in presentation. Some people will be good in analysis. Some people will be good as production managers. Some people, whatever it is that you are good on in the media space, put in the work, build your capacity, be an authority in it and not just a mediocre in it. Now, I want us to now zero in down on, as media professionals, this is about how media can influence. My conversation with you is about how media can influence governance. So I want us to talk about what is the role of media personnel like you and you, professional? What's our role in influencing governance? How do we prepare ourselves for, because these days we are seeing media professionals serving as chief press secretaries, special advisors, both at the national, at the state level. Meaning that media professionals have a space. We are partners with policymakers and governments. How do we, should someone want to break into this space as a practitioner in the media field, how should such a person prepare? What should such a person be looking out for? And well, I'm asking two questions. Let's take it from how do we prepare? What should such an individual be looking out for if you want to hold such offices as a chief press secretary, special advisor in governance?
Okay, so I think an all-round media professional is someone who knows at least something about everything. Okay, so while you must find your own niche and focus on it, you should have an idea about every other sector, because you're going to be advising or helping your principal, to churn out information about other sectors. So it's key that you have, in fact, deep knowledge about every major sector, in the whole country, in the whole state, or wherever you're working. And I think it's also important I mentioned this. It's not for fun that the media is referred to as the fourth estate of realm. Okay, if you have the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive, media is next. Okay, so it's not just that we have a spot. In fact, our table is special inside the room, because it does not matter what the executive or the legislature does. If the media does not push it out, people don't get to know.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said something very important, and it's, for me, it's very important. He said, if an Iroko tree falls in the forest and nobody talks about it, did it really fall? Yeah, really. I mean, if nobody's talking about it, I mean, like, it's almost like it didn't happen. And that's that space that the media takes up. I mean, the media ensures that what gets done gets known. And of course, there's the other side. They call it the other news. It depends on how you report it. The reportage is another issue entirely. That's why I'm here. Okay, so you can decide to report it in a different way, such that people perceive what was done in a different matter, in a different prism entirely. But this is what I'm saying. As media professionals, don't wait till somebody wants to tap you to bring you in. Prepare yourself. Okay, for example, currently we have the Honorable Minister of I think Mines, Mr. Dele Alake. He's a media professional. I mean, that's all we know him doing with the current president. But then he got in and they were sharing posts and they gave him mines, mineral resources. You can imagine. Will he now say, no, yeah, I'm a media person, don't give me this? Hello, you have to deliver. Okay, so, and there are a lot of media professionals who have also reached their peak too. Chief Dele Momodu contested to be president. He has reached the peak of his career and he's doing pretty well. A lot of people are also like that. So my own suggestion to colleagues out there would be to, yes, pick a niche, but make sure you are versatile. Make sure you know what's going on around you. And it's not just about coming in to do the politicking. Yes, the politicking will be there, but your professionalism will be what will speak for you at the table. How you are able to deliver. It's pretty important. Very, very important. As we prepare to get there, And I keep telling people, I say it's a matter of time. It will go round. Somebody will also get
Yeah.
to somewhere and request your help, whether officially or
Yeah.
unofficially.
Yeah.
Everybody at one point or the other will be required or requested to work with government, at one point or the other. I was more with the development sector, working mostly with NGOs and all that before government decided to tap me. So uh, let's just prepare, and be ready. And much more importantly, I cannot overemphasize this: the need for appropriate education. Somebody
Mm.
told me while I was in IBR, I attended the School of Broadcasting. It was one of the very first in Oyo State. So when the broadcasting house decided to start it, and they brought correct, when I saw the curriculum and I saw the faculty, I said, this is where I want to be. Because I was so passionate about it. As a student who was also working at the station, I graduated with a
Yeah.
distinction. A
Wow.
distinction, yes. And I became a lecturer the following semester.
You know, you are the type that we call the Igi way in Yoruba. That is the A students who are very
It
intelligent.
was just inborn. I mean, it was inborn. I mean, I was so happy, and I started lecturing. And I stopped lecturing when I got appointment, really, because I was always going there, to share, my experience and all that, But
You
that
got
time was not
busy.
available, while in. So this is where I'm going. You can't say, yeah, I can talk. I can talk. No, 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 no. Go and learn, study. I just told you I'm doing another degree in communications as I'm talking to you. I can decide that maybe it's English and this thing we can do it now. No, work on yourself, study more, do certifications. I mean, when fact checking came out, I was one of the very first sets in Nigeria. You know, eating it deep. I mean, went for trainings here and there. A very good friend, a mutual friend, Michael Latubos, that you know him very well.
Yeah.
We're traveling, flying, junketing across the country on some fact checking things. Some of them still call me. I had up till when I got appointment, I was holding 2 fact checking fellowships, international fellowships. That's what
Wow.
I tell people. I say, there's no money in media. I said, it depends on what you're doing.
What you're
This guy
doing,
was
how
paid.
you are
Yeah,
equipping yourself. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, some of these fellowships, to be modest, we're paying in dollars. Good
Mm.
money. So it was not my salary from the broadcasting house that was. So I tell people, I say, see, and for those who might be watching this, the fact checking space is still open, but
Mm.
you just cannot afford to be lazy. Fact
Yeah.
checking is serious work.
Work.
It
Yeah.
is, I mean, serious work. You will Google, you will use AI, you must get to
The roots of that
exactly
information.
before
And
you
and,
release
and
a fact check.
yeah, so
So it's open. People can always work on themselves and access these areas. Then finally, let me add this, please. Permit me. Development communication is also open. I know you are a development communicator.
yes, yes, yes,
I mean, that's
yes,
another
yes.
field that people are not looking at.
It's wide. It's wide. It's wide. Wide. Thank you so much for that. So, as media professionals, that we often are on the end, we say we are the fourth realm of the estate. It's easy for us to point fingers at those in government, the 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 ones driving the leadership of the nation, the states, those in government. But from our conversation, we are also either part of the problem or part of the solution, because
Mhm.
we are part of government. We are the mouthpiece, whether we like it or not. We are the ones that
Mhm.
give visibility to whatever any government or policymaker is doing. We are the one that
Mhm.
makes sense of whatever current affairs, current issues is trending to the people. We are like the gatekeepers of information. So the question now is, how can media better influence governance, whether we are on the inside or on the outside? So for now, for example, if you find yourself to be a special assistant or a chief press secretary, how can we positively impact governance and ensure that our role is not just we are not just carrying handbag in that place? So how?
Oh, okay. So this is one of the easiest things to do, really. Maybe because it was easy for me. I can count a number of government policies that are personally influenced, which I cannot disclose. Why?
That's
Because I
fine.
was in the room.
That's
I was
fine.
in the room. I was in the room where decision was being made. Okay. It also led me to having relationships with most people do not look at them, but they matter a lot. The legislators. These people make the law.
Mm,
I mean, yes, executives execute, but the legislatures make the law. I mean,
mm,
they can decide that, okay, we are canceling brooms, you say no more brooms. I'm
mm,
telling you, it will become law, and police will start arresting anybody they see with broom.
mm.
I'm just giving an
Like
example.
our national anthem now that is changed. We don't have a
Exactly.
choice. We have to
And they
sing the
changed it, and we just have to. So these guys are that powerful. Okay. So when you want to influence policy, take a very good look at the legislature, make good friends with them. There's a word they use, they call it lobby. Lobbying does not necessarily have to do with money, it just means trying to change the mind of the policymakers. You reach out to them and tell them, see, this thing
mm,
where that is going on, can we do it this way? Okay, so this is my suggestion. If you do it this way, and you had better have a proof of concept too, so that you can tell them that, see, it's also place. This is, I think that's where the journalistic part of me, the media part of it comes to play.
comes
I
in.
give them
Yeah.
examples. It's also states they've done it this way, it failed. Can we do it this right way? This state is doing it like this. So
Mm.
when you're able to show, proof that
Proof
if
of
we do it this
concept.
way, you'll be surprised. They are not demons. They can see. They will adopt it. And that's why I said, I mean, 2 or 3 policies, I mean, statewide policies have directly influenced them. Of course, from
Mm.
underground. But because I was in the room, it was an opportunity
Yeah.
to influence it. Yes, I think I should say this too. Some people say, money, money, money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you see, there comes to that room where decision is made. Money is not important. It's your idea.
Mm.
I'm telling
Mm.
you.
Mm.
Money can get you there, but money won't keep you there.
Mm.
That's the truth. Is
Mm.
what you bring to the table, your correct ideas, your current opinions about issues, how it relates to your state, how well you are able. That's what we keep you in that room. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. People
Mm.
who don't contribute anything, theory of use and disuse, they will wither away. It's as easy
Mm.
as that. Okay. So media professionals can easily influence things. I tell people, I say, see, do you know, by just consistently writing an article, a piece in a newspaper, I've seen my boss invite certain, columnists in newspapers and ask them, okay, you've been talking about this thing, what can we do? I'm telling you personal experience.
Wow. So
Yes.
so even from the outside, you can
Yes.
influence by the
Yes,
kind
because
of
they've seen this
content
person talk
you
about this
create.
particular issue. The person has been critiquing that issue and he has been profiling certain solutions, which may appear theoretical. But then why not give him an opportunity to at least present himself? Let's hear you out. I've had and seen that severally. Okay, just about 2 weeks ago, my boss, Governor Shey Makinde, hosted Nigerian Guild of Editors. Now, when you hear that name, it's easy to get carried away and think they are just newspaper editors. You are wrong. Now, Nigerian Guild of Editors comprises of, yes, newspaper editors and broadcasting houses, the head of TVC, the head of channels, the head of AIT, all these guys were also there. Okay, so it was an opportunity to allow them talk and address the
Yeah.
governor. I mean, he sat down, they addressed him. People spoke from different angles. Okay, these are the news we've been pushing out in our media outfits. It was an opportunity to get feedback. Now,
Mm.
so if someone had sat down and said, nobody's hearing us,
Mm.
nobody's this, and then you now get the opportunity to talk, what will you say?
Mm. So
Okay.
never assume that nobody is seeing what you are doing. People
That's
are
the biggest
seeing,
lie. I
people
can
are
confidently
watching.
tell you that government listens to everybody.
Mm.
Government monitors every program going on
As
every
an
station. I'm
insider,
telling
as an
you, I'm in government
insider.
and I'm saying it.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Government is listening. It's a fact. It's a fact. You insult the president and see if DSS will not pay you a visit. Is that for the letter word, actually?
Okay, I get it. So now that Nigeria, our country, is where it is,
Mm.
how can um media professionals and government leadership, policy makers, those in government, the legislature, the executive, how can we better collaborate to actually, change things in our country? So because it's easy to be pointing accusing fingers, but
Mm.
let's have this conversation. How can we move our country forward, or our states as it were, or our local government as it were, forward as media professionals and the government leadership, the government arm? How can we better collaborate?
One low-hanging fruit for media professionals that I keep telling people is that, can we positively sell Nigeria? That's something we can do easily, every one of us. Can we
Mm.
positively push out what we do that is good about us? Not
That is
necessarily about
working.
government. Exactly. Can we talk about the good parts of Nigeria? Can we see? I tell people, I said, well, I've been privileged to also travel to some countries. And
Mm.
I can confidently tell you that some movies that portray Hollywood, that portray New York, were actually shot in Canada, Toronto. Not,
Wow.
yes,
Not
yes,
even in the
yes,
US.
from personal experience. You know why? Because they will never show you the bad part of their cities.
Mm.
That's the truth. Downtown New York has homeless people scattered around, worse than our own here in Ibadan, that
Mm.
we keep talking about. Destitutes,
Mm.
places smelling and all that. And I'm saying downtown, the business districts, is that
Mm.
bad. They can't shoot the high class movies. They go to Toronto, which is cleaner. But they will
Mm.
claim it's Hollywood. This is the US.
Mm.
So I'm saying everybody puts their best foot forward.
Yeah.
Every country wants to show that everything is nice. Who told you there are no potholes on roads in the US? I'm not saying that's the best for governance, but I'm saying they don't push it out to the outer world. They don't tell people that is what is going on. You know, I told someone, I said London has one of the highest rates of knife violence. Yeah, knife,
Mm.
not gun, knife. That
Mm.
people will just be going around with knife and choking people. Is they have the highest in the whole world. London
Wow.
City. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. At least 10 cities in the US has the highest gun violence in the world. They don't show it. They don't. They won't tell you this is what is going on here. They won't. They will show you the beautiful places. Am I saying that we should be lying to ourselves? No. I'm saying, can we focus on the good parts? That's what media can do. Media can do that. Yes, critique your people. Okay. Sometimes I've discovered that even people who want to talk and shout most about government are people who are actually high in the position. The best
Mm.
analysts out there, the best critics out there are people who are out of office and just marking time to get back into office. That's
Mm.
the truth. I can mention names of
Mm.
people who are once in office who are now attacking, So, but that's not what I mean. I'm saying, as media professionals, we can decide to tell our stories, in the right way.
The
Portray
positive
those
stories.
exactly. We can choose to do that. And while we are doing that, package your critiques, publish it, and send it to the right quarters. It's never a crime to say the right thing. I mean, I'm in government, I still say things and I speak truth to power, even though I'm part of the power. I mean, some friends have told me, I say, boy, the last opposition sorrow, I say, forget it. I've been there. They dissolved government, they are reappointed, I was still part. So it's not
Mm.
news. I will still
Because
continue doing my
sometimes leadership can tell who is telling them the truth, or
exactly.
somebody that is lip syncing or
Exactly.
praise
They know
singing.
the naysayers.
Yes, yeah,
They know
yeah,
them.
yeah.
They know
So
them.
it's
They
okay to be
sure know
truthful.
them.
So
You
how
know?
can you have spoken to the media professionals now? Being someone in government, what would you like to say to policymaker or the legislature, the government leadership? What would you like to say to them about how they can better work with media professionals and not and use the media's platforms to better improve on their policy? Because again, the media is close to the grassroots, it's close to the people.
Sure.
All right, we go in and get whatever is good. How can government, the legislature, you know take advantage of the media to actually do the work that they are supposed to be doing, instead of seeing the media professionals as their enemies?
Thank you very much. This is more like my ministry in government right now. Yes, trying to midwife positive relationships between my colleagues, government appointees, elected officials, and media professionals. And I've been successful, at least to an
To
extent.
some
A
degree.
lot of
Yeah.
people see media professionals as their enemy. I'm like, really? You will, your career will die a very unnatural death very fast.
Mm.
So you
Yeah,
need them, whether you like them or you hate them, you need them. That's
exactly.
a fact. Okay, so it's a gospel I've been preaching to colleagues in government, that see, the media is your friend anytime, any day. And irrespective of how you see them, whether you like them or you hate them, you need them. Everybody needs
Exactly.
media professionals. What I just advise and I suggest to a lot of them is that because those who now don't want to run with the professionals, they now get into their hands, they engage quacks who
Who will be singing them and just
exactly
publishing
and end up
non-professional?
mispresenting information about them. You know, as I
Oh
see,
yeah.
when you don't engage a good professional who can help you push your information, you get quacks. The quack will kill you. You go and say you did this when you did not. He will say
Mm,
your words in a different way. I said, see, if you
mm,
engage a good professional, the professional, even when you say expletives, when you say certain things that are not right, a professional will know how to repackage it, edit out
mm.
something. That's the job of a professional, to ensure you are seen in the right light, in the positive light. But a quack will just package everything and push out, causing trouble for you, more problem. You know, and then you see a lot of politicians issuing rejoinder upon rejoinder upon rejoinder upon rejoinder. I mean, something that
Mm.
should not be out there in the first instance. I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So it's something I've taken it personal. I reach out to people, as many people that I have access to in government, that see engage the appropriate professionals. For example, I
Yeah.
can give this example. I'm also the official compared to the governor. So I manage his events. I'm his official MC. I've seen a lot of people get some, in quotes, they call them lago guys, for official events. I said, these people, they will mess everything up. You
They
know,
will go and say what they are not supposed to say and
exactly. They can
misrepresent.
manage the information. So I've tried to get close to someone and say, okay, don't worry. Me, I cannot come to events, but I can recommend professionals who will handle it better. And some of them have come back to say, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
God for so person. The program looks different. I said, yes, because you have a professional handling it. You know,
Professional. Yeah.
exactly. I took it upon myself. My birthday is 4th of February every year. This year, what I did for my birthday was a no holds barred in-house private training for compares, and it was free. I mean, something I was supposed to collect money more,
I
because
saw it. I
I
saw
saw a
it.
lacuna. Yeah, I saw a lacuna, and I said, see, people need these skills. So I gathered people who were willing to come, and I trained them free of charge, because I know somebody someday in that room will work with a politician and will help that person one day. I don't have to
Yeah.
be there. Okay, so and it doesn't have to be me, that has to be everywhere. And so
Yeah.
again, my suggestion to politically exposed persons, whether appointed or elected, work with professional media professionals. You
Mm.
will always be glad to
There
have
will be
them on your
difference.
team.
There's a difference. Thank you so much, for this conversation. And I'll just quickly a recap of some of the things we've said. In terms of how the media profession can influence governance. You talked about, being somebody that knows a little bit about all the different sectors. If you want to work in governance, you are looking at the opportunity of being a chief press secretary, an SA to the governor. And then also, you also talked about the fact that the media can actually influence governance, the legislature, by from the outside, not necessarily from the inside. For some of the cases that you mentioned, that sometimes the government can invite a columnist who has been writing and critiquing and analyzing and providing solution. So the word is not to just be a critic. As you analyze and make a critique, what solutions? Be a solutions-based journalist or media professional. And then also, what I'm also taking away from this conversation is that the legislature, the government arm, people in governance, whether elected or appointed, should understand that the media professionals are not their enemies. They are their friends, and you cannot do without them. If you know how to, engage the media adequately and correctly, you can work together to actually, have a better governance, have better solutions to the problems of the society. And one of the things that I'm taking away from this is that, government should not just see the media professionals as their enemies. They should not just say, oh, they will just write something bad about you. If the media is making a critique or giving you analysis, it is important that, the leadership, the policymakers actually sit down to read, to listen, to say, oh, this problem, they say this problem is here. What is causing this problem? What can we do? So the media should be like, yes, they may be making a criticizing you in quotes as it is, as it usually is. If the head that wears the crown is the one that is under the hot seat, all right. So why not, if you are in governance, the leadership, the policymakers, make a twist, make lemonade out of the lemons in quotes that media professionals are throwing at you. So if the media professionals are mirroring and showing you what is happening in the community, what people are saying, that is an opportunity to say, why is this problem like this? Why is this thing like this? What can we do? And sometimes I think the trick is also, if somebody has been criticizing you, bring them in to come and give a solution. Let's see if they also have a solution to the problem. So I'm hoping that this our conversation may help as many as are watching, whether you are a legislator or somebody in governance or a policymaker or a media professional. It's going to help us to see that government and the media should not be enemies. We can work together to build the kind of country, the kind of nation, the kind of community that we want to see. If we know how to work together across the table. And if you're a media professional, you get an opportunity to be in the room, you better make sure that you're bringing something to the table. You're not coming empty. Bring something to the table. And for you to bring something to the table, it means you've been preparing yourself for some time. You've been going for fellowships, you've been going for training. I'm very big on personal development, and I'm hoping to do more for myself and not just talking about it. You need to be trained. You need to get into where information, knowledge, you need to reach out for it. Don't wait for anybody to send you for a fellowship. Don't wait for anybody to enroll you. Go and enroll yourself and prepare yourself so that we are not just media professionals that are criticizing and analyzing. We are solution bringers. We determine the problem. We kind of cut out the problem. This is the problem, and we are also providing solution. Because if our society is better, we are also better. And then again, on a personal level, I think also if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, well, if you are damn good, excuse my word, you have the opportunity to sit at the table. You will have an opportunity to grow in your career like Oladayo here and some other people. You will not just be complaining, I spent 30 years, I spent 40 years, and nothing to show for it. And you'll be a frustrated media professional. You're angry with all the policymakers just writing because you're angry with them because you feel that you're not moving. So build yourself so that you can be in the room, in the space where things are changing. Oladayo, I'm so happy to have had this conversation with you. I'm so proud of the things you are doing. And also as a person of faith, I'm so proud that you are representing as well. So because if we say there's a problem, we should be part of the solution to the problem. We should not be adding. And when we get to the place of solution, we should not be part of the people that are spoiling things. So I'm so proud of what you're doing. Keep shining, keep flying, your flag. And as much as possible, carry along other colleagues, to learn these things, because sometime down the line, some of our other colleagues will be in this same, we wear these same shoes. Will they represent well, or will they be representing us, very badly? So let's see how we can pull one another up. And that's one of the reasons why these media talks, I'm just doing it, to just see how we can help ourselves to be better at this profession. I'm just doing my little, and I hope my
well
little
done.
Make an impact. Thank you so much for coming on Media Talk series with me. Any final words?
Well, just to thank you for this opportunity, and to also appreciate you for this humorous job you're doing. In some places, they will say, who is bankrolling you? I know these things cost your time, your resources. So the best I can do is just to appreciate you and thank you and encourage you to please keep it up. Please. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for making our time to come on Media Talks. And this is where we'll be wrapping up this episode. Catch us again on another interesting episode with another, interesting personality who will be sharing from their wealth of experience so that we can all evolve, modify, and grow together. Like I always say, we are going up together. See you at the top. We are all going to succeed in this profession and be impactful. Bye for now.